and here is my sweet cream or sweet corn casserole. Here we go, my chicken and rice with almond. I got 14 little circles out of this. Oh my gosh, that's 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And here we are. I didn't think it was gonna pop up that easily, but you can use a smaller bowl. That so good and yummy. Oh my gosh, I gotta get to chopping those onions. And you know what I forgot on my plate? A piece of sausage. Putting this on top. And oh my gosh, these are delicious. Hot, delicious. Isn't that cute? And there, that's the finished one. I wish I had videotaped in there. Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. It is a Friday and I kind of wanted to go out and get something ready to eat because I'm really hungry, and for some reason I was craving Taco Bell. But I had some chicken that I had been defrosting that I forgot that I had been defrosting, and I just realized it's drumsticks and one thigh, or one breast actually. So I'm going to make something with that because even though I could just leave it in the refrigerator for another day, tomorrow is going to be a day that we're not going to be at home. So I decided that I'm just going to go ahead and cook this. Forget Taco Bell. I don't need Taco Bell. So I also had all these mangoes. Look, let me move the camera down. I have all these mangoes that my son brought over. And I thought, well, I can make a mango salsa or something. So I don't know what I'm going to make, but it's going to have some mango. It's going to have some chicken. I've got some onions here. I've got some tomatoes. I've got these mini little sweet peppers here. And I've got a jalapeno that's about to give up on me, so I'm going to use some of this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up everything and we're going to cook, and then we'll decide what we want to call this. And I'll be back. Okay, so I've got my, I was going to say avocado, my mango, which I'm going to remove from the pit. And I can see there's some questionable areas, but I can always cut around that and not use that. And I love mango, but this is the one thing that I hate, is always having to cut it because it's so slippery and all over the place, and it's kind of hard to get things off of it. And you don't want to really cut into the pit because that's no good. But then again, the bits that you can't get off, you just simply chew on. But I'm going to try and remove as much of it as I can. And this is probably going to turn you off to wanting to ever cut a mango. But they're actually very easy to cut. It's just holding on to them because they slip and slide everywhere. Okay, I'm going to remove these little parts that I just don't like the way they look, like that. These mangoes were about to give up. And I said, I better start using them. And I have quite a bit of them, so I don't know what I'm going to do with them all, because they look like they need to be eaten within today or tomorrow, or, you know, at the latest, the day after. So anyway, I'm just going to remove as much of this, little bit of the skin still on these pieces here. And then I'm just going to chop up into little bits. And I'll show you those little bits in a moment. I've seen people cut up a mango so professionally, so well, but I never can. I don't cut enough of it to practice, I guess. Well, here's the pieces that I cut. They're all like really coarsely chopped. Mango doesn't need to cook, so it's not like a piece of chicken where, oh my gosh, try to cut them all the same size so they cook the same amount or whatever. But anyway, I've seen them score while it's still on the skin. I've seen them score it like that, and then they do a little flippity flip, which is this, and then all you got to do is just cut it right off, which seems to be working pretty good. Yeah, that worked. And then I don't have to cut off the this nasty part that's still here, which is this right here. I'll just leave that. Okay, this isn't working so well. It is and it isn't, because my hands are all wet and slippery. Okay, so I'm going to cut up more of the mango. I'm going to go ahead and cut up this piece. I don't know if I'm going to cut another one, but I'm definitely going to cut up the rest of this, and I'll be back. All right, so I've cut up the mango and I decided to go ahead and cut up 2 of them. This is not completely 2 because the second one wasn't all that great, so I got as much of what was good off of it, and I had a little taste, and it's so good. It is so sweet and delicious. So it's perfectly mango-y flavored. And before I continue cutting up any more of my ingredients, I decided I need to have the skillet ready because I need to cook this chicken, because after all, I defrosted some drumsticks and they're on bone, and well, they need to cook a little more than the chicken breast. So I'm gonna go ahead and place them in there. A little bit of olive oil at the bottom of the pan here. That's about a tablespoon and a half or so. I'm gonna go ahead and just place them directly in there. They're clean because I've already cleaned them. All the water in here is from the ice that formed. Season them with pepper and salt and garlic powder and a little bit of cumin. Garlic powder and some cumin. I love to use cumin. Love it. I just got some new one. I gotta open it up. Put some in there. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn them, even though they weren't ready to turn, but I want to season the other side. Get them all nice and yummy. Oops, I need to. Wow. Got a little bit of that myself. Got this chicken in here. I'll show you. Gonna move them around. And then I'm gonna let them cook a bit. Turn them around, let them cook a little bit more, and then I'm gonna add the chicken breast in there, which I'm gonna season the same way. And allow that to cook along with the drumsticks. All right, so here's my chicken, the drumsticks that I put in there earlier, and now I've got the chicken breast. And I season it on one side. I'm going to turn it over, and then I'm just going to season this side. And I'm going to go ahead and turn these around. The side that's not cooked. It's hard to grab things and turn them when you're looking through a viewfinder. But anyway, there they go. Finish seasoning that chicken breast with cumin and some garlic powder, a teensy bit of salt. That's it. I'm going to add some water to this so I can create some steam, and then I'm going to cover it up. So watch out. Here we go. A little bit of water. And now I'm going to go ahead and cover it up and let it cook for about 4 minutes. I'm going to check it and turn the chicken pieces over. Another 4 minutes, maybe 5 or 6, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. And I'll be back to chop up the other ingredients so you can see what I added. All right, so tonight's dinner is basically a what do I have in the fridge that I can make that won't take me that long to create something. So basically it's sort of like a pantry raid, but more like a fridge raid. But I did want to make some rice, and then I realized I didn't buy any rice. Why? I don't know, but we don't eat a lot of rice lately. We've just been eating lots of veggies with whatever meats. And but I did have some couscous. This is just some frozen couscous, and it's ready just to be steamed. So that's what I'm going to make for the side. So make whatever you want on the side. You don't have to if you don't have anything. But this is just an idea of something to make when you don't know what to make, and it'll just an inspiration to go ahead and raid your pantry or your fridge. So anyway, I had this onion, but then I decided that I have this half a red onion here, and I'm going to go ahead and use that because it's prettier. So I'm going to chop up some onion. And of course I want to remove this top layer. Remove that part also. And then I'm just going to cut it into, let's see, let's put this down so you can see better. Cut it into bits like that. I don't want a lot of onions, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut this whole half red onion. And I also kind of want my onion in these little strips. Why not? Okay. But if you don't want it in little strips like this, you can go ahead and chop it up. Just give it some, you know, of course, chop like that. And then, of course, separate them. And I'm going to remove these little inner little center parts because they have that little green bit in there, and it doesn't look all that attractive. There's nothing wrong with that. You can eat that, but it just doesn't look pretty. I feel like I'm eating a live plant. And I've already killed this one, so anyway. Just going to remove that. Put this on a plate. Just pretty. So pretty. Look at it. Whoa, the red onion is starting to fight back. I guess it is still kind of alive. It's saying, oh, no, you don't. Or more like, oh, no, you didn't. Because, my eyes. Wow. Okay, let's cut up some tomato. Whew, let's see if we can get the tomato to sweeten up this whole party. Because that onion just kind of bittered it up a little bit. Whew. Okay, that's a good thing. The onion's in good spirit to fight back, so it'll be yummy. And I'm just going to chop that up, and I really didn't need to because I didn't do that to the onion. And so just cut it up however you want. We're going to squish it all up as we get it in there. And I did rinse these out. Let me cut off the little bits off the here. Also this one over here. See, I just don't want this one part, but there's no reason to throw the rest of this away. Just cut around it. You love my knife skills? Yeah, I'm really good at this. I can be if I, you know, pay attention, but this is one of those, it's a Friday night. I don't know if you'll be watching this on a Friday or a Tuesday or Wednesday, but this is being done on a Friday night. Or instead of going out, which is what my husband and I had been doing, is we've been going out and sitting somewhere and just having a little dinner, kind of like basically a date night. And then we come home and watch a movie, have some ice cream or yogurt or fruit or whatever. Clean that off. And, oh yeah, I've got some little peppers. And I'm going to cut those up. You get a good amount of them. Look, they're so cute. And these are called mini peppers. And they come in a bag like that. Some are orange, some are red, yellow. They're just pretty. I mean, you know, nothing really fantastic. But just... And these, I'm just cutting them in little half bits. So I'm just cutting down the center like so. But on the cutting board, not in my hand. And then I'm going to cut down like that. So then I get these little pieces like that. So that's all I'm doing with that. Hush, hush. I'll be with you in a moment. My pot is yelling at me because I need to add some water in there. So let's get some water in there. Let's lower that temp. Ooh. Cover it up for just a tiny bit because it's been 4 minutes. I'm going to turn the chicken over. Okay, let me get this cut. Oops, and I didn't cut this one in half first. It's okay. There we go. They're cut in half now. Do not follow my cutting skills because you'll cut off a finger. And you don't have to remove the little seeds, but I just did on this one because I just didn't like the way they looked. Okay. This is not a hot pepper, by the way. This is a sweet pepper. It's like a bell pepper, just little mini ones. They just didn't, I guess, fully grow. I don't know what they did to make these mini and colorful. Okay. There we go. We've got all that chopped up like so. And I'm going to cut up some of this jalapeno too, but I'm going to wait till I'm at the end. I'm going to go ahead and turn this chicken. Look at how pretty that looks. Turn the pieces over. So now they cook on another different side. Oops. Oops. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the onions in there. and the peppers, so they start getting soft in there. They'll cook along with the chicken. Just throw it all in there. I'll wait on the tomato just a little bit. Okay, throw those in there. I don't know, when I was growing up, my mom always said that you put the tomatoes in last because the tomatoes kind of stop the cooking process, and I've come to realize, Mom, that's not so. I feel like tomatoes have acid. Wouldn't that help the cooking? Help it cook more? I don't know. I don't know. Does anybody know the answer to that? Is that true or not? Or is that just like an old wives' tale or something? I feel like it was more like add the tomatoes in last, that way they don't get too mushy, but you know, they can still retain some of their shape, whatever prettiness about them. But I want them to cook. So I'm just going to wait a little bit before I do add them, because I do want those onions to saute a little bit in there, because there's water in there. They're not going to saute like they would if they're directly on some oil. But let me tell you, this looks pretty already as is. I'll show you. See that? There you go. Okay, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes. It's been a couple of minutes now. Let's uncover that. And I'm going to go ahead and add the tomato to that. And I want to season that, so I'm going to add some garlic and pepper. So there we go, some ground pepper, that's quite a bit, and some garlic powder. I'm not going to add any salt at this point because I feel like I've added enough salt to the meat, so I'll just taste it later, and if I feel like it needs a little bit, I will. But I'm trying to cut down, so I'm trying to avoid adding any more salt. My chicken still needs to cook some more because they're drumsticks, so got to leave them in there a little bit longer, and I'm going to check them by cutting into the chicken breast and a little bit of the thigh meat over here. Now the dark meat always takes a little bit longer to cook than the white meat, and also especially if you have it on the bone, it always takes a little bit longer. But they are small drumsticks. And this is a huge chicken breast, so we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. So let's allow this another 4 minutes. Cover it up and come back. All right, so when I'm back, and it's actually been like 9 minutes instead of the 4 minutes. What I did is at 4 minutes I checked it, and I decided that my chicken breast was cooking, but my thighs were not. So I took out the chicken breast, and what I did is I went ahead and I cut up the chicken breast into bits like so, and I allowed the thighs to cook for about 8 minutes, and then I've just added the chicken breast and letting that cook a little bit more because they're still not quite ready, but I don't want them to get too tough. So what I'm going to add now is I'm going to add the jalapenos that I cut up, and I just cut about half of it into little slices because I basically just want the jalapeno to kind of flavor all this and give it a little bit of a spice, but not necessarily to bite into it. But those of us that do want to bite into it, well, we've got the little pieces in there to do so. So there we go. I'm going to cover it up again. Let's fix this up a little bit. Give it a few minutes for the jalapenos to, by a few I mean just like, you know, 1 or 2 minutes or so. I'm going to cover this up. Then we'll add the mango. All right, 2 minutes later, we'll uncover this. Sometimes I think this thing unplugged itself. I don't know. I got to keep an eye on it. So I keep going up and down with the heat. So you want to do this on your stove that you're familiar with. But I'm just using this because it's nice for y'all to look at what I'm cooking at rather than me doing it on the stove. Okay, so now I'm adding all this mango that I've cut up. Spreading it around. So it looks pretty. Look how pretty the colors look. Oh, so pretty. And basically all I want is for this to heat up. So I'm going to cover it up. My couscous is in the microwave. It's only a 5-minute steam. So going to be ready in a minute. I'm going to turn it off, and then we'll serve it up with our couscous. And here it is. I'm going to call this chicken and mango. I would call it mango chicken, but I think I'll just call it chicken and mango. Look at that. It's beautiful with the tomatoes and the onions and the little peppers, the jalapenos, and that beautiful yellow mango. It just looks delicious. So let's get ready to serve this and taste it and see what we've got. We're going to get ready to serve this up. I've got some couscous here. This is a couscous with quinoa and vegetables, and it's just a 5-minute steam in the oven, in the microwave actually. And it's so deliciously good that I serve myself a good portion. I'm going to serve myself a little bit of the peppers, onions, and the mango on my plate. Look at that. So pretty. Very, very pretty. Let's get a little bit more with some of them jalapenos in there. Let me dig out another jalapeno. Gotta have that. A couple of pieces of that chicken breast right in there. And then I'm going to serve on here a piece of drumstick right in the middle. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So delicious. I can't wait to taste. My stomach is growling, and I just sent out my guys to go get some donuts because we have been craving. Well, we is me. So they went out, so I'm probably going to be digging into this before they even get here. So let's try this out. All right, I decided to put the camera a little bit closer. Cut off a piece of the drumstick and the chicken breast. I want a piece of that mango in there too. Let's get that in there too. Oops. Oh, it's just so much to put on one little fork. But look at that. That's my bite. Can you see that? See that? I'll focus on there. Let's try that. Ha! I dropped my mango and my jalapeno. It's still good even though I dropped it. Oh my gosh. That jalapeno, that jalapeno is kicking me back. It's saying you should have eaten me a lot sooner. It's so good. A little bit of this couscous. I think this was actually a better decision than having made some rice. That couscous, the flavor of that is tremendous, and it's awesome with this beautiful, and I'm choking here, people. This beautiful chicken with mango. I hope you enjoyed my recipe, and I hope you will try this or try to substitute whatever you have in your kitchen. I hope that it just inspired you to just look for things in your kitchen, in your pantry, in your refrigerator, and just come up with your own recipe. So this is my own recipe. It's not anything secret about it. A lot of these ingredients exist in probably the same exact dish somewhere else. But for me, this is my recipe. I hope you will try it if you want to follow it exactly. I will write down the recipe in the description box below. And please give me a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, enjoy.